What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division 2 vendor reset video. It's the 13th of May 2025. We're at the base of operations. We're starting off with a cold relations, change the stability to damage to targets out of cover, and you are in a good place. There is this vector SBR. You could change this health damage to target out of cover and use measured, but it's not really ideal. You kind of want damage to target out of cover on your guns, and then you can change the talent to whatever you want. There's a Uzina backpack here. If you are going down the armor route, this is probably perfect. Hasbro, armor, regen, adrenaline rush, all great if you're doing that kind of build. Everything else though is garbage, so let's move on. Alright, so we've got a Carnage at the clan vendor. Kind of perfect. The crit chance already max rolled. Optimize it and you are good to go. We got Refactor knees, a striker's mask, also really good if you've not yet got one, if you're a newer player perhaps. We've got a hardwired chest. These rolls are actually pretty good this week so far. Let's hope it continues. An M16A2 with damage to target out of cover. Kind of perfect again, but it's a shame the gun itself is trash. Everything else though is kind of meh unless you want some 511. There is some Hana Yu as Hana Yu crash bag. This actually would be pretty good. Skill damage on. Change the explosive resistance to skill haste. You could keep tech support on. It's a pretty good talent. So maybe pick that up. Everything else trash. Let's move on. Alright, so the countdown vendor has got a mechanical animal. You can change the magazine size to damage target out of cover. A tiny bit of optimization needed, and this is pretty good. The chariot is rubbish. There's a swap chain. Again, really well rolled. Just change the damage to armor to damage target out of cover. But unfortunately, I mean, the gun's not great, but maybe you want it for your stash. Let's move on. Alright, so we're at the theatre. There's a surge if you want it. You can change the crit chance again to damage target out of cover as you would with all perfect guns. Everything else though, not looking so great apart from no, absolutely nothing. So this is all garbage, so let's move on. Alright, so at the castle we've got a relic again, as we've said previously, to change the swap speed to damage target out of cover. Take a shot if you played in the shot game. We've got a military MK46 with health damage on. I mean, the gun itself is pretty great. I do like it, but it needs a whole lot of optimization, so probably not worth picking up. A Legatus holster with critical hit damage, pretty well rolled. Change the status effect to crit chance and you'll be on your way. Everything else though is garbage, so let's move on. Alright, so at the campus there is a scalpel if you want it. Just change the swap speed. I'm not going to say it again. Paratrooper SVD with damage target out of cover on and determined. So kind of everything that you want in SVD. Just needs some optimization. Just be careful which one you switch. I would probably recommend changing the talent and then you can optimize everything else so you don't ruin the gun. There is a HG mask with crit chance on, but you would have to go crit chance headshot damage if you're going to use this and keep the blue core. An Overlord holster that could be crit chance, crit damage very easily, so maybe good if you're doing some kind of rifle build. Also, you could use the accuracy and the weapon handling with this if you was going to use the merciless. That would be a good idea for that. Everything else though is rubbish, so let's move on. DZ West has got a baker's dozen. If you're a newer player, you've not got one, might be worth picking up because it's not bad rolled. Just change the headshot damage to damage target out of cover. An ACS 12, I needed one of these the other day, but not this one. This is terrible, so don't bother with this one. That is all rubbish. We've got some Umbra Initiative gloves, aces and 8 knees. Some Providence gloves with headshot damage on. These would kind of synergize, but unfortunately you probably wouldn't use them. You probably use contractors gloves or something else in that slot. Everything else though is trash. I need some DZ credits. Let's move on. DZ East has got another Carnage, actually a little bit better rolled. This is all kind of perfect, so maybe pick this one up instead if you've got some DZ credits. There is a Rigger mask if you need it, a Foundry Bulwark holster as well. There is also a Healer Guard holster, but it's got explosive resistance on, which kind of spoils it a little bit, and it would need a lot of optimization, so probably pass on that. Let's move on. DZ South has got a rail splitter if you want to pick it up. It's a DZ exclusive with perfectly accurate, not terribly rolled either. Just change the swap speed to damage to target out of cover. There is a PP19, but it's not as good as my PP, so don't bother with it. It's not worth picking up at all. We've got a Cavalier backpack with armor regen pretty highly stacked, so you could perhaps roll the core attributes and get that done fairly cheaply. We've got a Heartbreaker chest piece, but this is kind of mediocre. So yeah, you'd have to just change the Hasbro to a damage talent. That's not the greatest. Everything else though is rubbish. So let's move on. Alright, the most random vendor in the game, Haven. Let's see what he's got for us this week. The Police T821 is no good. Same with the SR1. This is good. The UIC 15, if you like to use this gun, it's got damage target out to cover on it. It has got determined on, but you're going to need to roll that so that you can optimize these goods. But it will cost you a pretty penny for a rifle that is not that great, but maybe one for the stash. Everything else though is meh. We've got some materials for Lengmore if you need them. Again, the Wyvern holster is actually pretty good. Status effects is pretty well rolled. Just change the health to skill haste and you'll be rocking and rolling. Alright, let's go and see what Roy's got for us. Looking for Roy to save us. He's got a G36 with damage target out to cover and flatline. Pretty well rolled. Pretty decent gun as well. Very, very stable. I would just, again, re-roll the talent so you can optimize all these and then change the talent back to whichever you want. We've got a Black Market M60, which is, I mean, it's okay if you change the accuracy to crit chance. Unhinged is okay, but ideally you want this crit chance already. We've got a Thorn in there, which you could change the mag size to damage target out of cover. Everyone is drunk right now. An X45, which is no good. We've got an Heraldi chest piece with crit chance. Hasbro and Vanguard. Does it want to be a tank? Does it want to be a sniper? It doesn't know. HG knee pads, which are not good for anybody. Some Badger Tough that is also not good. And we've got some trash mods as always. That's going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.